Hey everybody, it's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and I am super excited to be catching up with Ian Riccaboni. Hello.
Hey Alicia, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I've been following everything that you've been doing. You've been killing it. Whether it's MLW, whether it's these interviews, I'm really enjoying them.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of stuff you've been killing it at too that we will get into. Super exciting times for you. You have your hands like on everything, it seems. But before we get into that, I have to ask, how are you doing with everything going on right now? Are you keeping sane over there?
Yeah, so I think some people know this. I do keep a day job. Ring of Honor pays me enough to not have to do that. But having two kids, it's a decision that I've made where I'm going to make both work as long as I can make both work. And the day job has really kept me kind of sane because I've worked from home for the last 6 years. So for me, this isn't anything out of the ordinary. But for my wife and now my kids that are home, it's a little different. They're used to going to the playground, or they're used to going to daycare, or they're used to
Yeah.
doing different things, and it's really changed their routine. So for me personally, I miss little things. I never thought I'd miss being able to go to Dunkin' Donuts or being able to kill 20 minutes by walking around Target. But
Right.
now things like I can't do, I won't do. Social distancing, that's the way I think we're going to beat this. And yeah, it makes you realize how nice you have it, even if you're just, able to go to the store or able to go to Starbucks or Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts or anywhere.
No, it's definitely something I feel that's been brought to light to so many people. And the other side of it too, almost the silver lining, is the fact that when your schedule is so go, 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 you can actually take your first break in a while. So I know for you, like you've been binge watching Tiger King, which I did as well. And like I feel like everyone's been doing that with the quarantine going on. But real quick, your thoughts on that. Isn't it bonkers?
Oh, it's insane. There's a moment in, I think it's the first episode, where the park manager is taking a drag of a cigarette in a room surrounded by gasoline while pouring gasoline into a different bucket. And it's like the 30th craziest thing that's mentioned in that episode. Like it's so out there that moment of him pouring the gasoline with a cigarette doesn't register. That's the least important thing you think of, when any other time you think, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah, the entire thing, I was just like, what the heck? Like throughout all 7 episodes, I don't think I could wrap my brain around it. But yeah, I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I have an opinion that I think a lot of us share, but I don't want to be sued for libel. So I'm just going to say that I have an instinct about Carol, and I think we all have that instinct. So I'll just leave that there.
Yes, I will leave that there too, but I concur. Now, something that goes on in the wrestling world, I really feel like so many people, whether they're hosts, announcers, wrestlers, they really do go from company to company quite frequently. Whereas for you, you've been with ROH since 2015, which is awesome, and pretty rare. So for you, what is it about that place where it really just makes you want to call it home and just, keep re-signing those contracts and stay there?
Um, I'm very grateful for the opportunities they gave me. I was somebody that, when I came out of college in 2009, I went to grad school mostly out of necessity because we were in a recession. There wasn't a lot of jobs available. I'd done some MTV things as a college student, but that dried up really quick. And the opportunities I had were gone by the end of my freshman year. So by the time I got out of college, I knew I wanted to do broadcasting. I knew I wanted to do radio or TV, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities. So when Ring of Honor gave me my first shot the first time I called a match for them was January 3rd, 2015. It was awesome, and I had got a lot of detailed, straightforward, and honest feedback. And I knew that, whether it was our executive producer, Delirious, whether it was Mark Brown, our director, they were willing to invest their time in me, and they weren't afraid to tell me how to improve. And as that continued, you get close with people. Dalton
Yeah.
Castle, Matt Taven, Jay Lethal, the Briscoes. I'm going to forget somebody here, but Colt Cabana, who was partners with, Caprice, Kenny King. These are all people that I enjoy traveling with, that I enjoy 2-3 times a month, being able to see and get together with. And now they're just really good friends. So for me, the environment is super key. And I'll tell you a couple of things about Ring of Honor that has made me want to stay. Right now, during the shutdown, I'm continuing to get paid. We don't have events. All of our events have been canceled through at least June, or to at least June. Hopefully, we'll resume in June. But I continue to get paid, even though there's not really work per se. When I had my daughter Nora, they paid me for the 2 shows that I missed. They were able to cancel a plane ticket and eat the cost to Japan because of the birth of my daughter. So those are little things that no one really talks about, but they add up, and it's made me loyal to Ring of Honor, even though there's been some interest elsewhere. So, just the environment, and it's really people first, at least from the experiences that I've had.
No, that's so wonderful to hear, because it's always so different with every brand, and that camaraderie is so key. Like, I've only been doing MLW stuff since December, but like, you already formed that friendship, and you can't really imagine being elsewhere, because it's like, oh, hey, can't wait to see you next month. Yeah, buddy. Like, it's a really great feeling to have.
Yeah, it's really neat too. And speaking of Tiger King, like, I'm in a group chat with Matt Taven, Dalton Castle, and we are just like, what the heck is happening?
Right.
It's and now Carrie Silken's watching it too. We got him turned on to it, so it's incredible. And also with Ring of Honor, like, once you're in Ring of Honor, I know we have a history of our guys moving on to AEW or WWE. It's one of these things where once you've been there, you're there forever. It's almost like a ranking, like in the military. If you're an admiral, you're an admiral forever. If you're in Ring of Honor, you're part of the Ring of Honor team forever. So even though, guys and gals will move on to different places, they always sort of have that center compass that kind of brings them back to the Ring of Honor circle. So it's pretty neat.
I feel like at this point in time, you must just be itching to get back. Like, I know it's not the biggest of our issues right now, of course, but I feel like everyone in this industry, we just can't wait to get back. And I feel like you guys left on such a great note, because so much of it is you're constantly scouting new people. There was everything going around about Marty now being a booker. Like, there's so much, to be excited about. So is it kind of just killing you right now? Like, just sitting here like, oh, I just want to be back at it.
The most I've ever been excited for an event was Past versus Present. And that was supposed to happen on the Saturday, March 14th. And I got to Las Vegas on Thursday, March 12th. And we made the right call. The NBA had canceled on Wednesday. By Thursday afternoon, the NHL had canceled their season. Right. Major League Baseball started to wrap things up Thursday afternoon too. And Ring of Honor, I think, made the right call and the smart call to postpone our events. And I'll tell you, I didn't quite get the enormity of the pandemic until the major sports leagues started to cancel, and until we canceled. And it was disappointing that Past versus Present in particular was canceled, because selfishly, I wanted to call a match with Homicide. I've never called a Homicide match. I've never called a Xavier match. Xavier was a world champion for us in 2002. And this was kind of his big return to the ring, not even just Ring of Honor, just to the wrestling ring. I've never called a Havana Pitbulls match with Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero. So these were all things that I was looking forward to that, unfortunately, they have to wait. And we've been told that these things will come in due time. We're going to bring back the Pure Championship. We're going to see Tony Deppen. I was going to get to call more Yuji Nagata matches. You mentioned the new stars. We had some surprises planned that are kind of public-private, kind of. Yeah. If you look deep enough, you can figure out what they were. But those folks are still on tap. So hopefully we get going again in June. But yeah, and that one, like you said, there's much bigger issues in the world right now. But just from a personal, selfish level, that stung to be that close to being able to do those things, and then having to get back. But that's another reason with Ring of Honor, right? Because we were sitting there, we had a talent meeting. The office gave the go ahead to spend whatever it took to get back home as fast as you wanted to get back home, and they put it on their dime, and it was really great of them, and we really appreciated it. So.
Well, something I do want to bring up with you, because when I found this out, I was like, ooh, I need to discuss this. Apparently you had some time where you were actually a singer-songwriter. And when it comes to that, I was curious, was there ever a time you really wanted to like full-blown be in the music industry, and then wrestling like pulled you away? There was. Okay.
Yeah. So, again, if you look deep enough and hard enough, you can find it. There's artifacts of me doing music. And for a while, I did MTVU's Best Music on Campus competition, 2006. I was a semifinalist. I had my own commercial. I was featured. It was weird. Like in the dorm, people would say, "Oh my God, I saw you on TV," and they'd have MTVU in the dining halls, and "Hey, oh, I saw you at Weinstein, or I saw you at Third North." So that was pretty neat, and I continued to do that. I continued to do a lot of shows. I think in 2006 and 7, I did just about 50 gigs each year, which for somebody that's in college isn't bad. So there was moments where that I thought might be a possibility, but I never could thrust my whole heart into it. I was always split too thin or spread too thin. Like I played baseball in college, so the weekends were out the window. So I'd have to get shows on Wednesday or Tuesdays or Fridays, and I'd have to kind of work around that. And so I can never really thrust my whole heart into it. But Joe Hendry, who also has a similar background from Ring of Honor, we've talked about doing a duet or doing a.
Ooh.
So we'll
Okay.
see. Yeah.
I mean, I also heard, and I have no idea if this was a rumor, you made this up, but did you actually pass up a chance to open for Lady Gaga, or that actually happened? No way. Oh man, I don't mean to bring it up to bring back some bitter regret there, but
Yeah. So I was in student government at NYU. Of course I was. I was a nerd, and I was the class president of the Steinhardt School of Education for 2009. And there was a guy named Freddie Fredericks, and he was trying to get his start. He was in the music business program, and he offered me a spot to go to the Lower East Side to open up for one of the folks he was managing. That person turned out to be Lady Gaga. So the excuse I gave at the time was, "Oh, you know what? I'm really tired. Can't do it." I went home and played Madden on Xbox.
That's what I read. So I was like, did this actually go down that way? That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it was a good game.
I have opened for the cast of Spring Awakening. I've opened up for McBrain Damage, which is the side project for Iron Maiden. That was not a good fit. I did folk singer-songwritery stuff. I used to listen to a lot of Pete Yorn and Rhett Miller and Calexico and those types. So that's the kind of vibe I was trying to go for. So as you can imagine, opening up for the drummer for Iron Maiden was not a great fit.
It's a bit of a clash, I have to say. No, I know the rest of your night is going to be just relaxing with the kids, your wife, just, some actually good family quality time. But there's one thing I do need to bring up before we call this, a day. And that's the fact that you are now not running just one podcast, but two. You have the Last Stop Penn Station podcast, and then the Ian Talks Toys podcast. One, you just talk about anything and everything, really shoot the breeze. You seem like you have such a good time. And then on the toy one, you have ROH stars on, you talk about action figures. So I guess the last question I want to ask is, how big is your toy collection at this time? And what is the most prized possession in it?
Yeah, so this, they call it a DTOF. It's from IKEA. It's behind me. I have every micro brawler except for 3 of them. So if you have X-Pac, Billy Gunn, or Ricky Steamboat, please let me know. I am fortunate during this current shutdown that I'm still working. So let me know. I think my most prized possession, I'll pull it out. It is.
The micro, they look so good back there too. You have them actually like slanted.
Oh yeah. I bought nail polish risers off of Amazon.
So smart.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I wanted. I saw an ad in a magazine for the LJN figures, and they're the rubber. They're usually 7 or 8 inches tall. The one I wanted the most was the Ultimate Warrior, and my mom called. And it was like a year after the magazine was out, so it was a little dated. And she asked if she could order Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, and Brutus Beefcake. Well, they sent me Haku, the Warlord, Rick Rude, and the Big Boss Man because that's all they had left. Little did I know. The Ultimate Warrior and that series was kind of a Canadian exclusive for the most part. It was mostly released in Canada. And now, over time, with my Ring of Honor signing bonus that I got last year, I used some of it and bought the Ultimate Warrior. So I finally got him in my collection. And it's crazy because Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins run this podcast, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, and they are the reason I'm collecting these. And I'm going to send them a bill for everything that's behind me. I thought I washed it out of my system. I thought I was done at like age like 17 or 18. But no, they got me back into it. So now I have all the Ring of Honor figures. I got Colt's figure. I got everything. So it's ever
growing.
Yeah. And it's fun too because I've been doing this podcast and I mentioned Colt, and I've known Colt for years. He was my partner on ROH, but I didn't know he had as an extensive collection as he did until I started talking to him and on the podcast, because it just never came up otherwise. So he's got a big record collection where he collects wrestlers' records, which there's way more than I knew of. There's like a Terry Funk record, a couple Jimmy Hart records. Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter put out more than one record. It's wild. But then he also collects posters and things like that. I have one coming out. It came out Friday with Bobby Fish of NXT, who's a good friend from Ring of Honor. And he talks about how proud of his action figure he is because his likeness looks so much like him, but also his dad. And every time he looks at his action figure, it reminds him all the good memories he had with his dad, which was a turn I didn't expect to have, but was really neat to hear. So, I'm doing that, and that's been a lot of fun. And then with Carrie, oh my goodness, Carrie, you need to have a bar of soap and like be ready to like some of the things. And he pulls no punches. I
could tell.
7 lives. In fact, the most recent episode of Last Stop Penn Station, we talked about LGBT-friendly bathhouses in New Orleans. We talked about how he started and beat cocaine, how he got arrested for scalping tickets at the Superdome in New Orleans. So he's willing to tell his life story, and to me, the wrestling is like the least interesting part. Like hearing about New York City in 1986 or New Orleans in 1985, or how he kicked drug addiction in the early 90s. These are the things to me that are really important and that I hope we get across. And the wrestling is just kind of the entry point for folks that have heard of Ring of Honor or know Carrie or know myself.
No, it's awesome that you've been able to craft something that people seem to really be enjoying, and you seem to be enjoying it too. That's kind of like the most important part of what we do here. As long as we enjoy it, then it's usually smooth sailing. So no, I'm really happy for all the stuff that's going on right now.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I have great partners, whether it's Caprice and Ring of Honor, Carrie and Last Stop Penn Station, and all the wrestlers. It's funny because as I'm doing this, like, there have been folks that have reached out that said, hey, I have an action figure. Do you have mine? Do you want to talk about it? So that's pretty cool too. So, and it just kind of sprang out of thin air. It's a nice way to pass the time during the quarantine. And I'm trying to post one of those each weekday. And I'm going to run out of people that I know soon.
Yeah,
so,
bound to happen.
Yeah, it'll stop in the next couple of weeks, but it's going to be really fun doing it in the meantime.
No, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I'm really happy to have had you back on. Absolutely.
Thanks, Alicia. I'm proud of everything that you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, everybody. This has been ROH's Ian Riccaboni. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features, and we'll see you next time. Bye.